Hey guys, this is Non-Lammers and Invoked 101. Welcome back, and today we're taking a look at my brand new Tenyi deck profile. This has changed a little bit since my previous one. One of the big differences is, of course, now we have the final Tenyi link, which is the link for Tenyi link Saharasa, I think is this one's name, but this has a crazy name. And we are getting a new Tenyi card in Eternity Code, I think is when it's coming out. It's a new Tenyi Quick Play. I don't remember if that's in Eternity Code or the Rise of the Duelist, I think is the other set. So, but before we get into the deck profile, down in the description there's a link to our Patreon, our Teespring, our Ko-fi, our Cashapp, and our Discord. So if you feel like checking out any of those links, those are all down in the description. So with that out of the way, I'm going to move the spells and traps and extra deck off to the side, and we're going to get right into the monsters. So the first guy we're starting off with is, of course, Tenyi Spirit Shoutout. This is one of the best Tenyis, level 7 Dark Worm. But anyways, so all the Tenyis have the effect where if you control no effect monsters, you can special summon them from the hand. But then they also have a bonus effect where you banish them from the hand or graveyard to do another thing. So Vishuddha's bonus effect is that he gets to target a card the opponent controls and put it back in the hand. So that's pretty useful. And then the other level 7, the arguably best Tenyi in the deck, is a Shunna. So of course, special summons itself from the hand, but then if you control a non-effect monster, you can banish it from hand or grave, and then special summon one Tenyi monster from the deck. This thing is awesome. And also, a quick note, because they can banish themselves from the hand, you can also kind of do their effects under effect failure, because you don't necessarily have to do them from the graveyard, which is pretty cool. And then we have one of the other Tenyis, probably the third best ones. These ones are probably the best ones, and that is Adhara, which is the level 1 Earth Tuner. This one has the effect to banish itself from hand or graveyard, and then add a banished Tenyi that isn't Adhara back to the hand. I think actually it's except this card. Yeah, except this card. So if you have another Adhara that's banished, you can get an Adhara. So that's pretty cool. So moving into the other Tenyis, we have 3 of the Water Tenyi. This one's probably the next most useful. Honestly, this is probably the next best one. It says, if your Tenyi monster, if a non-effect monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from hand or graveyard, target of one of those destroyed monsters, special summon it, then you can destroy one monster your opponent controls. So yeah, that's pretty cool. 2000 defense, which is pretty nice. Yeah, just overall a really good one. Mapura, which is the fire one. This one says if your non-effect monster is targeted for a card effect, you can banish this from hand or graveyard, negate it, and destroy that card. And then we have 2 Nahata, sorry, not 1. This is the last Tenyi, though. His effect is that during battle, your non-effect monster, you reduce the opponent's monster by 15 by banishing this, which is pretty cool. But I think that's at start of battle, so you can't do damage calc shenanigans with it, which kind of sucks. But yeah, so that's it for the main, for the Tenyis, not the main deck, for the Tenyis. Then we also play 3 Mystery Shell Dragon. This thing is just a non-effect monster worm with 2000, so it's just a beater. I like playing Mystery Shell Dragon. Not everyone plays Mystery Shell Dragon, but I think it gives you another, not only just another body, but it also gives you another worm to send and special and do all the good things with. It's also level 4, so you can do rank plays with it. Then of course we have 2 Mare. This is a standard card in Tenyis. You want to because you want to see it, but you don't necessarily need to see it. You can send this to the graveyard off with a search card, and then you can open it. And if you open it, it's literally just as fine as if you didn't open it from the deck. It's perfectly fine. Before we move into the hand traps, I want to mention a card that I found in my friend's bulk, and that's Giant Pearfish. Pearfish is really cool. It's a level 6 water worm, and it says you can discard 1 monster, special summon 1 level 4 or lower worm monster from your deck. So this could be a really cool card. If you want to experiment with this, I've thought about taking out a Mystery Shell Dragon to and using this as a one of in the deck potentially. I got 2 of them just in case I wanted to, but this could be a really cool extender. This only sad part is that you're probably sending this to the graveyard off Shaman, which discards itself, and then you're special summoning it back, and then you're discarding a card. So that kind of sucks because it does rip stuff out of the hand, but because the Tenyis all have graveyard effects, it might not matter. Just one of those things that I wanted to bring up as a tech card. If you guys didn't know about this card, because a lot of the worms are kind of non-existent. But yeah, that's it for the worms for hand traps, because this deck does kind of need them. 3 Effect Veiler, just to kind of put the opponents on the even playing ground. These can be impermanences if you have impermanence. And then the next one is Ghost Ogre. I think Ghost Ogre is really good, this like format. There's a lot of stuff that needs to remain on field, and Ghost Ogre hits stuff that activates, so being able to just get rid of it off the board is pretty good. Kind of puts a stunt on the opponent's plays, and I just think it's an overall good card. Hits field spells, like specifically Resort, so if they activate Resort, you can hit that with this. Double Helix, etc, etc. But yeah, that's it for the main deck monsters. It's a very heavy monster count, like an insanely high monster count, but it's definitely like necessary for the deck to function. For the spells and traps, we are playing 3 Vessel, which if you don't know what Vessel does, it says send a worm from your deck to the graveyard. Then if you control a face-up non-effect monster, you can add a Tenyi monster with a different scent name, with a different name than the scent monster from your deck to your hand. That's pretty cool. You can only activate 1 per turn. And then we have 2 of the Tenyi field spell. Oh no, I dropped it. 2 of the Tenyi field spell. This card is really good. It says all non-effect monsters in the field are unaffected by monster effects. Once per turn, if your opponent special summons an effect monster while you control a face-down or face-up non-effect monster, except during damage step, you can draw 2 cards. So that's pretty cool. For one-ofs, Foolish Burial, because it gets stuff in the grave, Pot of Avarice, because it's a draw 2, and Regeki, because why not? Honestly, I might swap this out for my Giant Pearfish, just because you don't really need the Regeki, and I would rather potentially have more extra deck extenders than Regeki. With that, traps. 3 Unrivaled Fist of the Tenyi, or Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi, whatever. This is their counter trap. It says when your opponent activates a spell trap or monster effect while you control a face-up non-effect monster, negate the activation. So it doesn't just negate and destroy. But then it also has, if this set card is destroyed by opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 non-effect monster from your extra deck, which is pretty cool. I am playing 2 Waterfall of Dragon Souls because it's just a straight up worm searcher. It's also a draw card. I know a lot of people don't play this anymore, and this will become obsolete once the new Tenyi card comes out. That straight up just searches Tenyis. And then 2 Storm Dragon's Return. I think Storm Dragon's Return in Tenyi is awesome. It lets you special summon any banished monster from opponent's banished or your own banished, and then during the end phase adds it back to your hand. So this is a really cool card. I think it's definitely better in Cosmo, but this deck can use it fairly well. Whoa! All right, and that's it for the main deck. Moving into the extra, we of course are starting with the brand new Tenyi Spirit Saharasa. Yeah, it's Saharara. Yeah, Sahasrara. I don't know, Mio called this Tenyi Spirit Sriracha Sauce, so that's what we're gonna call it. Tenyi Spirit Sriracha Sauce. It needs 2+ worms, and it says it has 3,000 attack, and it says while you control a face-up non-effect monster, monsters your opponent controls cannot target effect monsters for attacks. Also, your opponent cannot target effect monsters on the field with card effects. Quick effect, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, special summon 1 Tenyi Spirit token, worm level 4 light, attack defense 0. This token's attack becomes that targeted monster's original attack. You can only use this effect of Tenyi Spirit Sriracha Sauce once per turn. So pretty cool, basically being able to summon a token and protecting your effect monsters, which is something that Tenyis did need. They did need a little something to back up their effect monsters, so it is nice to do that. And this seems to be, I believe this is a Shuna, definitely, the dragon right there, and I believe this is just a Shuna either turning into a monk, which I'm pretty sure that's what it is, because it's a Tenyi spirit, not like a whatever of the Tenyi. So it's cool. It's cool, like lore wise. It's like, oh cool, Shuna like is gonna turn into a man and then train monk presumably to fight Draco Berserker. But yeah, so we play 1 of him because it is a Link 4, so it is difficult to go into, and you're not gonna go into it constantly. But once you go into it, this is a pretty strong card. Then we have 1 Berserker. This is honestly like one of the best things you can pair up together, because like then Berserker is a 3k guy that's just huge, and they have to slam into him, can't target him, and then they also have to get. And if you have the field spell, then it's unaffected by monster effects. So, but I mean, there's a lot of spot removal in the game these days. They have like, you know, mind control, so they'll just probably take it. But with that, moving forward, we also have 2 Draco Masters of Tenyi. This is a really good card for Tenyi. Basically, it gives you a free pop 2 minimum. Because like you can, so what you'll do is you'll go special summon Tenyi, link into Monk, special summon Tenyi, link into Shaman effect, discard a card, special back a Tenyi, link that into Monk, link Monk into and Shaman into this, and then you will get a minimum of 2 pops with this. So that's pretty cool. It does kind of waste monks, but we are playing Pot of Avarice, which shuffles them all back, so you know, you can get around it. But yeah, 2 of him. 3 Shaman. Shaman has the ability to discard a card and special summon a worm from the graveyard with the condition that you can only activate Tenyi monster effects from the for the rest of this turn. From the extra deck, I believe. You cannot activate the effects of monster special summon from the extra deck except Tenyi monsters. Yeah, so that's whatever, because it's fine, because like Tenyis are now getting better cards. So like we have Draco Masters, we have Sriracha Sauce, and we of course have Shaman. So that's pretty good. But 3 of her, because like you go into her a lot, and then 3 of Monk, because you go into Monk constantly. This is your main starter, and realistically, I wish there was another way other than Pot of Avarice to recycle these, but unfortunately, there's not. But yeah, these are the only Link monsters you need to be playing. Like, you can play Land Falinkus if you want to, but I think that these ones are just fine. Moving into the other stuff, we have our quote-unquote Waking the Dragons target, because if our counter trap gets popped, we can summon a 4500 beat stick. If you have Sriracha Sauce, this thing becomes pretty difficult to deal with. 1 Tornado Dragon. I picked this one because it's a worm, so I was like, it fits in theme, and I don't know if there's anything that specifically locks you into worm monsters. I think a Shuna might when you use his effect, so I went with Tornado Dragon. Then for Synchros, we were playing 1 Draco Berserker, the Tenyi, because it's a level 8, and it's also a Tenyi, so you can bring it back with Shaman because it's a worm, and also it's kind of like a BLS. It's like a weird Synchro BLS. It says when your opponent activates a monster effect, banish that monster, which is pretty cool. Which is a quick effect. Oh, it's you can banish that monster. And then it says, if this attacking card destroys an effect monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, this card gains attack equal to the destroyed monster's original attack, also can make a second attack on a monster during this battle phase. Which is pretty cool, because it's already 3,000. So it's 3,000, you swing over something that's like 16, it goes to 46, and then you swing again. So he's pretty beefy. Then I'm playing Baxia. Baxia is really cool because you can use 2 Tenyis to make it and then shuffle back 2, or you could just go into it with Mermare. But honestly, I prefer to make this with Mermare over this. Oh wait, no, hang on. This is actually supposed to be summoned off Tenyis. I forgot Mermare is a level 7, so hang on, sorry. So yeah, so you're usually going to make this with the Tenyis, so you're always going to spin back 2, which is pretty cool. I believe it has another effect, but I've never used it, so. And then the last card, this is the card you make off of Mermare, Scrap Archfiend. And the reason I'm playing Scrap Archfiend as a Mermare summon monster is because Scrap Archfiend is a level 7 vanilla synchro, so he does fit with the strategy. If you put him under Shaman, what you can do is you swing with him, Shaman gets the pop a card, you get a swing again with 27, and then you get a swing with 16. So basically you get to clear 2 monsters with him as long as you have Shaman on board, which you probably will because you summoned Mermare off a Shaman. So Scrap Archfiend. And that's it. That is it for the deck. I like Tenyis. Tenyis are one of those decks that I feel had the format developed a little bit, and like there was gonna be a ban list, because I am in the camp that's like, I don't think there is gonna be one. I think Tenyis definitely could have been one of those decks that got a lot of experimentation the regional season after the ban list and saw a ton of play, because this deck is awesome. Like, it can use Needle Fiber, it can continuously special summon, it can play through things. There's builds that use Vanity's Fiend, there's versions that use I think it's Majesty's Emperor, or like, I can't remember, it's the 2 tribute one that says your opponent can't special summon. There's builds that use that. It's pretty dope. This deck is so much fun, and it's so much fun. Like this deck is super cheap, super fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed this profile. Before I let you guys go, once again, down in the description, there's links to our Patreon, our Teespring, our Ko-fi, our Cash App, and our Discord. So if you feel like checking out any of those, that is down in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.